everyone. Today we're going to be talking about intermittent fasting, which seems to be all the rage these days. First, a little background. Fasting has been a practice throughout human evolution, and it's often done for religious and spiritual reasons. However, as humans, we've evolved to be able to function without food for extended periods of time. I know the idea of not eating every few hours seems like a small form of torture, but many argue that fasting is actually more natural than what we deem as normal, which is eating all the time. Now, when it comes to fasting, there are many types, but today we are just going to talk about intermittent fasting. What this is an eating pattern that cycles between periods of fasting and eating. It doesn't specify which foods you should eat, but rather when you should eat them. The first method restricts your daily eating period to 8 to 10 hours, and then you fast for the remaining 14 to 16 hours in the day, most of which will happen while you're asleep. So for example, you don't start eating until somewhere in the 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. time frame, and then finish eating by 7 or 8 p.m. Then from 8 p.m. until the following morning at 10 or 12 again, you don't consume any food, thus creating a 14 to 16 hour fasting window. The second method involves fasting for a full 24 hours, once a week. So for example, you would not eat from dinner one day until dinner the next day. During a 24-hour fast, you would want to make sure you drink lots of water to keep yourself nice and hydrated. The third method is with calorie restriction, where you consume only 500 or 600 calories on 2 non-consecutive days of the week and eat normally the other 5 days. I happen to be a fan of the first method I mentioned, where I try to keep my eating confined to an 8 to 10 hour window. Here's what happens when you fast. The first hours after eating are pretty normal for most people, since your body is going through the regular process of breaking down glycogen and storing glucose as fuel for energy. However, after 5 to 6 hours of fasting, depending on the sugar levels in your blood, you will reach the stage of ketosis. What happens here is you've used up the fuel from the food you ate, and now the body has to find energy elsewhere. This is the point at which the body breaks down fat for energy. So instead of getting energy from the food we've eaten, the body is tapping into its natural fat source for energy. And this is actually the point at which the true fast begins. So that's why staying in it for 12 to 16 hours is beneficial, since the fast process itself takes 5 or 6 hours to even begin. The top reason why fasting is so beneficial is that it gives our digestive tract a chance to rest. When we constantly put food into our mouths, our body has no choice but to start the digestion process. So digestion trumps everything. We can't truly detox, repair, or heal when the body is busy in digestion mode. It's sort of like trying to meditate in the same room as a screaming child. One really can't take place in the presence of the other. So when we give our system a break from constantly having to digest, it can do the other things it needs to do. Here are some examples of those beneficial things. Number 1, blood sugar. Several studies have found that fasting may improve blood sugar control and decrease insulin resistance, meaning your body can transport glucose from your bloodstream to your cells more efficiently. However, if you suffer from any sort of a blood sugar condition, fasting isn't something you should consider without consulting your doctor. Number 2, inflammation. Some studies have found that fasting could decrease several markers of inflammation and may be useful in treating a variety of inflammatory conditions. This is very exciting information, as we know that inflammation is at the root of almost all disease. Number 3, heart health. Fasting has been associated with lower risk of coronary heart disease and may be able to help lower blood pressure, triglycerides, and cholesterol levels. Number 4, brain function. Although there have only been animal studies, these studies have shown that fasting could improve brain function, increase nerve cell synthesis, and protect against neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. Number 5, weight loss. Fasting was found to be more effective than calorie restriction at increasing fat loss while simultaneously preserving muscle tissue. Number 6, human growth hormone. Research shows that this key hormone is involved in metabolism, weight loss, and muscle strength, and several studies have found that fasting could naturally increase HGH levels. Number 7, delayed aging. In one animal study, rats that fasted every other day experienced delayed rates of aging and lived 83% longer than rats that didn't fast. Although it's just an animal study, it's pretty compelling results. And number 8, cancer. A test tube study showed that exposing cancer cells to several cycles of fasting was as effective as chemotherapy in delaying tumor growth, and also increased the effectiveness of chemotherapy drugs on cancer formation. Additionally, one rat study found that alternate day fasting helped block tumor formation altogether. So there you have it. It seems pretty clear that when coupled with a nutritious diet and a healthy lifestyle, incorporating fasting into your routine could definitely benefit your health. As I mentioned, there are several ways to fast, and it certainly isn't for everyone. But I have had countless people tell me it's been their most successful way to shed some unwanted weight. If you have any questions or want to learn more about it, don't hesitate to reach out. Wishing you a very healthy day, and as always, thanks for watching.